Hey there, folks. Let's dive into some pearls of wisdom together. You know, they say strong minds discuss ideas, minds discuss events, and weak minds discuss people. So, here's a little nugget to ponder. Be silent, or let your words be worth more than silence. Now, here's a thought. We've got 2 ears and just 1 mouth, so maybe we should listen more than we speak. And speaking of conquering, ever heard this one? Man conquers the world by conquering himself. It's all about toughening up those sensibilities so that life hurts you as little as possible. Oh, and don't forget this golden nugget. Thou shouldst eat to live, not live to eat. But hey, marriage can be quite the adventure too. They say, by all means marry. If you get a good wife, you'll become happy. If you get a bad one, you'll become a philosopher. Now let's switch gears a bit. Smart people learn from everything and everyone, while average people learn from their experiences. As for the not-so-smart ones, well, they already have all the answers, or so they think. You see, small-minded people tend to blame others, but average people often blame themselves. The wise, they see all blame as foolishness. So, whenever someone thinks of you, do what you think is fair. And here's a little reality check. Man is not worried by real problems as much as by his imagined anxieties about real problems. It's like we're programmed to blame nature and fate when, in reality, our fate is often shaped by our character, passions, mistakes, and weaknesses. So, my friends, don't spoil what you have by desiring what you don't. Remember that what you have now was once among the things you only hoped for. Circumstances don't make the man, they reveal him to himself. Now, the oldest, shortest words, yes and no, require the most thought. And none can be truly free if they're a slave to and ruled by their passions. So, never discourage anyone who's continually making progress, even if that someone is you. Make good use of your time by improving yourself through others' writings. That way, you gain easily what others have labored hard for. After all, reality is created by the mind, and we can change our reality by changing our mind. There's only one way to happiness, and that's to cease worrying about things beyond the power of our will. So, be careful whom you associate with because it's human nature to imitate those we interact with. Now, I've got a little gem for you. False words are not only evil in themselves, but they infect the soul with evil. So, rest satisfied with doing well and leave others to talk about you as they please. A man is never as big as when he kneels to help a child. And remember, the richest person is the one who's content with the least. Intent is the wealth of nature. So folks, let's be the wise ones who know they're fools rather than the fools who think they're wise. Strive to think much and know little. If you don't take an interest in the affairs of your government, you might end up living under the rule of fools. A wise person speaks because they have something to say, while a fool speaks because they have to say something. And let me tell you, I count him braver who overcomes his desires than him who conquers his enemies. The hardest victory is over oneself. In old age, we all regret not having killed laziness within us. I never desired to please the rabble. Pleasing them was not what I learned, and what I knew was far removed from their understanding. Remember, it's not what happens to you but how you react to it that matters. So, laugh at yourself because he who laughs at himself never runs out of things to laugh at. When we blather about trivial things, we ourselves become trivial, for our attention gets taken up with trivialities. You become what you give your attention to. Necessity is the strongest of things, for it rules everything. And hope? Well, hope is the only good that is common to all men. Those who have nothing else possess hope still. Now, here's a little wisdom. A fool is known by his speech, and a wise man by silence. So, let's move the world by first moving ourselves. In anger, It's wise to refrain from both speech and action. The greatest way to live with honor in this world is to be what we pretend to be. Don't judge your greatness by your shadow at sunset. From the deepest desires often come the deadliest hate. Beware the barrenness of a busy life. And remember, don't chase after happiness. It's always within you. Now, here's a little nugget about courage. He who stands his ground in the face of the enemy is the bravest. The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. So, happiness doesn't reside in possessions or gold. It dwells in the soul. In childhood, be modest. In youth, temperate. In adulthood, just. And in old age, prudent. By desiring little, a poor man makes himself rich. Lack of activity destroys the good condition of every human being. No one is more hated than he who speaks the truth. Don't trust all men, but trust men of worth. The right question is usually more important than the right answer. Courage is the first of human qualities because it guarantees others. Remember, if it lies in our power to do, it also lies in our power not to do. So, never be slow to seek wisdom, whether you're young or old. No age is too early or too late for the health of the soul. The misfortune of the wise is better than the prosperity of the fool. Death doesn't concern us. As long as we exist, death is not here. And when it does come, we no longer exist. Now, here's a powerful thought. The aim of the wise is not to secure pleasure but to avoid pain. So if you want to make a man happy, add not to his riches, but take away from his desires. And remember this, the key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. A ship should not ride on a single anchor, nor life on a single hope. So, my friends, no man ever steps in the same river twice, for it's not the same river if he's not the same man. Don't marry after 40. Marriage isn't provided by nature. Confidence, my friends, means avoiding idle gossip and petty conflicts, choosing instead to cultivate understanding and foster harmony. Those who aim at great deeds must also be prepared to suffer greatly. So, always remember, it's not so much our friends' help that helps us, but the confidence of their help. A bad feeling is a commotion of the mind, repugnant to reason and against nature. And once made equal to man, woman becomes his superior. Our sins are more easily remembered than our good deeds, and the wrongdoer is often more unfortunate than the one wronged. And in the grand scheme of things, foreign, well, that's a whole different story. So, there you have it.